Today is October 11th, which is the American Dream Dusty Rhodes' birthday. The Hall of Famer would have been 71 today, so I just want to say happy birthday to the American Dream. It's time for WGS-TV Reviews, Monday Night Raw for the week of October 10th, 2016. Hey YouTube, are you ready for your hot tag? Because if you are, it's definitely time to work.
I'm addicted and expensive. Byron Wilcott. And I'm watching WGS-TV.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer. I am your friendly neighborhood Wrestle Gamer, being joined this week, ladies and gentlemen, by the host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio himself, Rick Head. Rick, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing all right. A little hungover from last night, but, otherwise, I'm tip-top.
Monday Night Raw over the past couple of months has not done well in the ratings department. In order to turn those numbers around, WWE would have to step out of their comfort zone to renew interest in their brand, and they have the potential to do it, especially with what they did last night. Let's talk about Raw. In the opening segment of Raw this week, Sasha Banks would not only talk about her championship win from last week, but would also challenge Charlotte to have the rematch inside Hell in a Cell, which was agreed upon by the former women's champion, which indeed is going to make history at the pay-per-view. And honestly, WWE needed to step outside of the box of sorts with this to not only make this work, Rick, but renew interest and viewership back into their brand.
Well, we heard rumors over the past couple of weeks, and I kind of would see it happening, but obviously nothing was confirmed. I'm the type of person where I read rumors, I take it at face value, but obviously it did happen. Whether it's going to help or it's going to hurt, you never know. Obviously, I think I can say this straight up. I don't think we're going to see any big spots from the top of the match, from the top of the cage, where they're going to get, do as where Shane McMahon did the leap of faith. That's just not going to happen, folks.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, but it's going to be really, really interesting.
Absolutely.
As Hell in a Cell, indeed, has become a lot more interesting to watch now, with the first ever Raw Women's Championship match to be contested inside Hell in a Cell. Now, as far as Lana and Rusev being out there, it was basically to set up a mixed tag match with Charlotte teaming up with Rusev to take on Sasha and her partner Roman Reigns. That's basically the whole gist of that. Opening match this week was Cesaro taking on Kofi Kingston, which in a way is starting to build between the two teams for their upcoming tag team title match. Cesaro and Sheamus are kind of the new odd couple tag team currently in WWE, which is basically, Rick, the best way I could describe them.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely, it's two, for, they had that series of 7, they had a feud going on before that, and that's where it would culminate. So instead of them fighting, now they have to work together as a team. One of the spots I found funny last night is while Cesaro's getting his ass kicked, Sheamus was sitting on one of the stool steps, going live on Facebook.
Yeah, he was. And I actually watched a little bit about that, and a lot of people were asking him, oh, you're cool, when can I get one of your t-shirts? And that's basically what he was doing. He was just promoting merch for himself, which was kind of expected, when Sheamus was trying to put himself over. But after that, he went after Xavier Woods and Big E on the outside, which presented a distraction for Cesaro, allowing Kofi to roll him up for the win. And after the match, more bickering between Cesaro and Sheamus. So, Rick, I have a very interesting question for you. What team name would you give to Cesaro and Sheamus?
Well, I would certainly not call him Cesaro. I hope if they're going to do this as a tag team, they're not going to do some kind of mix like they've done with Jericho and his previous teams. He did the Jericho, now they're doing Jericho. I'm hoping they're really smart. If they're going to make this a long-term tag team, they really need to look like the traditional tag teams, such as American Alphas, where they come out and they have the same look. They have their own, the same music. I don't see that happening, so considering it's going to be a very short-term thing, they probably won't. They'll probably just say Sheamus and Cesaro. See, even I was doing it and fucking up like that.
Well, up next, it was Bayley taking on Cami Fields. This was a straight-up talent enhancement match, but Fields did look good with Bayley in there, so that's a plus for both of them in my book. Bayley would hit the Bayley to belly to pick up the win, and then on stage, Dana Brooke attacked Bayley. Now, during the match, Cole and the commentary team were playing up the angle that Bayley attacked Dana Brooke last week, and for some reason, Rick, I never saw that. Did you?
No, honestly, I haven't. And they kind of tend to bring up certain things, and it's like, to be honest with you, I very rarely pay attention to the commentators because they have little to say. At least when it comes to Michael Cole.
Yeah, but one would figure with the assault last night, it would signify the start of a feud between these two, wouldn't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, that feud's been kind of simmering, for the past couple of weeks now, so I think that's kind of obvious.
R-Truth is now the spokesman for Payday. Why? I don't know. He was backstage and overheard Chris Jericho talking about a payday and thought he meant the candy bar. I don't know what else to say about that.
R-Truth, he needs to do something totally different because he keeps on doing remixes of the What's Up. He does have talent. He does have charisma, and unfortunately, he's just being used the wrong way. It's just another talent that's fallen through the cracks.
Up next, it was Lince, Dorado, and Sin Cara taking on Drew Gulak and Tony Nese. The most hyped up thing about this match was Sin Cara joining the Cruiserweight division, and I even said it last night, Rick, on the Facebook page during my live coverage, that Sin Cara is a perfect fit for the Cruiserweight division.
Oh, most definitely. This right now, the Cruiserweight is definitely the savior of Raw. I don't know a lot of the Cruiserweights' names, but I'm starting to bring them up. Like I know T.J. Perkins, Tony Nese has been catching my eye, and then of course you have Brian Kendrick and Sheamus. But there has been one person that people have been talking about that would like to see in the Cruiserweight division that would be a perfect fit, and that's Neville.
Oh yeah, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, the weight limit in this Cruiserweight division is 205, and I believe Neville is around 220.
Yes, he is, but I mean, I think he could easily shed those 15, 20 pounds without question. And I think that's probably why they're keeping him outside the Cruiserweight, not to mention that Sin Cara is, so they want to give Sin Cara that little bit of a boost. But I can see if the Cruiserweight stays within the WWE, I can certainly see Neville jumping in there some point in time. No pun intended. And
not only that, but one would think Sami Zayn and Finn Balor would definitely fit that, because I believe Finn Balor is 199, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, as far as this match goes, Michael Cole should feel even more embarrassed to be in commentator when he didn't call Lince Dorado's shooting star press on Gulak, which gave Dorado and Sin Cara the victory. The person who actually called the move? Byron Saxton. Feel the shame, Cole. Feel it.
I'm going to be honest with you, because I only caught half the move out, and I called it a moonsault, and I didn't realize it was a shooting star press. And I had to rewind it, and it was probably the most perfectly executed move of the night.
Up next, Mick Foley and Stephanie McMahon were out there to basically confirm the first ever women's Hell in a Cell match. Why did Mick Foley look like he was out there to host a 70s version of Let's Make a Deal? He was also out there to promo the United States title match that's also inside Hell in a Cell, and announced that the WWE Universal Championship, as I had expected, will be inside Hell in a Cell. Now, Rick, have I mentioned before about how great creatively Chris Jericho is as a heel?
Oh, yeah. I mean, right now, I have to admit, his new thing where he's doing the list, which, for those of you who don't know, it's kind of spawned off when he did the list of 1,001 moves when he was feuding with Dean Malenko inside the WCW, but he's really doing it great. And even me and Ms. Jack Shit, who's my woman, we were sitting down and watching, and we both were just breaking out in tears, because I would love to do a tribute to the list of Jericho, where he's going to just find out everybody who's made that list.
He gets a huge pop from the crowd every time he says, "You've just made the list!" A stipulation was added to the main event of Seth Rollins and Jericho that if Jericho wins, then he's inserted into the Universal Championship match, making it a triple threat. Now, one would think, Rick, looking at that creatively from a storyline standpoint, it stands to figure that Raw would try to compete with SmackDown Live when it comes to the triple threat championship matches, considering what they did at No Mercy.
I have to agree with you that to a point, because I even thought that in some way that Owens was going to come down and double cross him, or eventually, or thus, unintentionally give Jericho the win. But that just didn't happen. I mean, we saw the clean win. Seth got the clean win, but of course, like he did the week before, Kevin Owens left Jericho high and dry. So,
yep, and we'll elaborate more about that when we get to the main event. But up next after that, originally, it was supposed to be Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. Where the hell has Curtis Axel been all this time? Taking on Enzo Amore and Big Cass, but out would come the Club, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, to flat out assault Amore and Cass, which tells me, Rick, one of two things is going to happen from this. Either they're going to have a match next week with these two teams, or they're setting something up for them at Hell in a Cell.
I definitely say it's Hell in a Cell, because that's usually when a lot of the feuds culminate. You know, they want to build it up and build it up and build it up to that point. And I gotta say this, you know, I am so sick of Michael Cole saying that, you know, New Day's been had titles for X amount of days, and Demolition had this record for X amount of days. He's been doing this week after week, and I just feel like saying, Cole, just get it over with, and saying that New Day's gonna break the record. It's so fucking obvious. And it just
come December 13th. Come December 13th, that will happen. If they keep the titles like I think they're going to, with them, come December 13th, they will have surpassed Demolition's record.
Yeah, and you know what? Make no mistake, that's exactly what's going to happen. It's not even a question.
So, following all of that, it was Sami Zayn and Neville taking on the former members of the Social Outcasts, which basically became a ponying of sorts of Curtis Axel, with Zayn hitting the haluva kick and Neville hitting the red arrow on Axel to pick up the win. And what is up with Bo? What are they doing with Bo? Just when I thought I had a handle on what they're doing now with Bo Dallas's new gimmick, you just see something different out of him. I didn't see anything like that out of him before, but what he did last night, Rick. What was your reaction to that?
My reaction is that I think they're trying to bring in, like, where he has, like, this dark personality, similar to his real-life brother, Bray Wyatt, but I don't think they want to bring him into the Wyatt family, so he's just going to they just want to try different aspects, because so far, unfortunately, everything that he's done before has failed, so they're just trying another thing with him. That's my catch on the matter.
And if they want him on the Wyatt family, they would have to put him on SmackDown Live off of Monday Night Raw. But here's a controversial statement that's sure to get people to hate me even more than when I say I hate Brock Lesnar here on YouTube. Charlotte is hot. She was backstage getting ready for a match, just stretching and pushing her boobs into the camera, which makes for great TV in my opinion, when she would get interrupted by Lana. Two hot blondes in one segment. I approve. Lana may be gorgeous, but she did kind of botch her promo a bit, but I'm willing to let it slide, Rick. Are you?
Slide? I wasn't even paying attention. I was just paying attention to cleavage.
Up next, it was R-Truth taking on Titus O'Neil. Why? I don't know. I think it had something to do with R-Truth getting the Payday sponsorship or something like that. And even R-Truth goes over on Titus O'Neil in the match, which really, Rick, makes the Titus brand look even shittier than it already is.
I don't think it even had a start. Titus O'Neil, you know, he's a big guy. And if you watch some of his matches, he's kind of clumsy. He does that one sit-out powerbomb move.
Clash of the Titus?
Thank you, yes. And to be honest with you, the only time he had any kind of notoriety is when he was with the Primetime Players, which was Darren Young, and then thankfully Darren Young has just fallen off the map again.
Well, anyway, backstage, TJ Perkins wanted to talk to Brian Kendrick about their past, and I like how Perkins is trying to keep gaming a part of his gimmick, and even talked about it, how he looked up to Kendrick and even replaced his N64 after he lost it, or something to that effect. And again, this was something that we've said for several weeks, not only here on WGS-TV, Rick, but on Sports Entertainment Tonight, about character development and storytelling when it comes to the Cruiserweights. This is a pretty good story right here with Perkins and Kendrick, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And, you know, when they did the Cruiserweight Classic tournament, you could tell that's how they, you know, fans get to learn who these people are. The same thing with NXT. You're watching them progress. When they would before they had the developments, or at least televised developments, people would come right in and they would have to fight tooth and nail to get themselves noticed. Now that we're watching NXT, you know, you can see, okay, I like these guys or I don't like the particulars, and WWE makes the decision on who's going to get over when they get to the main roster. And I think the Cruiserweight division did just that.
The segment would end with Perkins popping Kendrick in the mouth before Kendrick could do the same to him first. Up next, it was Braun Strowman taking on Steven and Clay Splash in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Rick, what the fuck was that?
Let's just say the Splash Brothers got splatted. You know, this is the whole storyline. It's an ongoing where Braun wants some real talent. Now, I'm hoping that he's going to get this push, but unfortunately, big guys like Braun Strowman have a bad history of getting this huge push, only to make himself look like a fool. Big Show, he is a legend, but after he won his certain titles, he started getting his ass kicked. Same thing happened with Mark Henry. Got a push, then got pushed down. Same thing with the Great Khali. I'm hoping he doesn't fall into that, because his promos are getting better and better now that he's on his own. So hopefully that works, but I would really like to see him face one of the bigger guys that, you know, he can go to nose to nose with. So I think they might be building a match up for Hell in a Cell.
And again, something that I've said about a month ago here on the channel, that this is kind of a Ryback-like build they're doing for Braun Strowman, and I don't think a Ryback gimmick can work for Strowman. I think Strowman needs to find a gimmick that works for Strowman, a Strowman gimmick to work for Strowman, not a Ryback gimmick. It's just my personal opinion on it.
Let me put my 2 cents in on that one. First off, the Ryback gimmick didn't even work for Ryback. You know, as we call him Rybor, because the guy has no wrestling ability. He has no charisma. He's just a guy where it's like, okay, fine, it's time for me to go take a shit because Ryback's on. You know, and when he left the company, all he did do nothing is complain and complain. He actually had the gall to say that he should be the next John Cena, and he is not even close.
Not even close. But anyway, up next it was Rusev and Charlotte taking on Roman Reigns and Sasha Banks. And for a mixed tag match, it was really good, all things considered. Banks and Charlotte seemed to be more of the focus of this match, but then again, that's not a bad thing at all. Banks would lock on the Banks statement on Charlotte, while Reigns speared Rusev to prevent the tap-out for the finish of the match. And I will say this, Rick, Banks and Charlotte are the right two women to be inside Hell in a Cell.
Absolutely. One, they both are very close friends, so they have that chemistry. They worked in the, I believe, in the Indies. They worked at NXT. You know, so when you work with somebody that long term, eventually you can see that they would have very little problems. You couldn't put two people that never worked together inside a Hell in a Cell because it would just be a hot fucking mess. I know, guys, I say F a lot, the F-bombs a lot, but, you know, that's just me.
I said it about 5 minutes ago.
Very true. But when it comes to, you know, these people, when you work so long together, again, look, you know, you could go down history. You could say Funk and Foley, same concept, very close with each other. So they knew that they could take each other to the limit without going too far. Flair and Sting, when they had that feud, same concept.
Yep, and the women's Hell in a Cell match will probably be one of the matches to watch come that pay-per-view. Up next, Paul Heyman would respond to Bill Goldberg's comments from ESPN, and stemming from that, the likelihood of Goldberg versus Lesnar 2. Heyman's promo was nothing short of brilliant, which is why when Paul Heyman talks, everyone listens, because there's no one out there as good as Heyman at what he does. And next week, Rick, for the first time in 12 years, Bill Goldberg returns to Monday Night Raw to respond to what Paul Heyman said during his promo. That's big, wouldn't you say?
Well, I've never really been a Goldberg fan. I knew that he was going to come out at some point in time to promote the video game. Now, there was speculation that they're going to have a match at Survivor Series. I don't think Goldberg should come back, and they really did cut out a few parts of his interview. I have the full interview over in my chat room on Facebook, HWR chat room, and he even says, he goes, you know what, I'm almost 50 years old, I got a kid who I want to spend a lot of my time with, I'm married, and he says, I'm even an old man. You know, and then of course he did the kind of promo, well, if anybody can come back, it's possibly me, and then he used the words that's very famous in wrestling, never say never. So, I mean, it's obviously he's coming there. It's to promote the video game. They've been promoting this video game like crazy. Now, I know for a long time that Goldberg and the WWE really just were at odds, but things change. You know, bridges can be patched up, and they have been in the past. Do I want to see him come back full time? No. Do I want to see a match between Goldberg and Brock Lesnar? No. I think he should come in, do a short promo, and maybe, you know, give Heyman a jackhammer and be gone.
Well, let's throw that out to the commenters, the viewers and subscribers. Do you agree with what Rick had to say about that, or do you have a different opinion about Goldberg coming back next week on Monday Night Raw? You should put your comments in the comments section below. Up next, it was the Cruiserweight Champion TJ Perkins taking on Arya Daivari, who was making his Monday Night Raw debut with Brian Kendrick on commentary. Now, from a commentary perspective, Kendrick put over his title match at Hell in a Cell with Perkins wonderfully. Never doubted Kendrick was a good talker, and proved it last night while Perkins and Daivari worked a good cruiserweight match. Perkins locked on the knee bar on Daivari to pick up the win, but like I said, Rick, you know, and it goes back to what we said earlier about the storyline and character development for the cruiserweights. Brian Kendrick right there putting over his match for Hell in a Cell and did an amazing job of it.
Yeah, so keep in mind, folks, that TJ Perkins and Kendrick have worked together in the past over in TNA when TJ Perkins was Suicide/Manic. And now we see them over here, and they're, TJ Perkins, the fact that he gets to be himself, absolutely great. Give props to him because he is a talented worker, and I really can see him going far, and he's a champion, but I can honestly see him winning multiple championships in that division, assuming that it has longevity.
And I think it does. If the Cruiserweight Classic was any indication, it definitely does have longevity. But backstage, Stephanie McMahon would meet up with Chris Jericho to basically hype up the main event and the potential of the main event at Hell in a Cell becoming a triple threat and blowing the WWE Championship triple threat match from No Mercy out of the water. But following that, it was the main event. Seth Rollins taking on Chris Jericho with the added stipulation that if Jericho wins, he's in the Universal Championship match at Hell in a Cell, making it basically a triple threat, like I've said for 5 fucking times in the past 3 seconds. I have no idea why. This was a great main event to cap off Monday Night Raw this week, as I knew it was going to be. Rollins seems to be getting over as a face more and more every week, it appears. However, I am a little bit disappointed that Jericho did not go over in this match, because I really wanted to see what WWE would do with him in the main event, but so much for wishing. Rollins scored a quick roll-up on Jericho to pick up the win, keeping Jericho out of the main event. Kevin Owens would attack the number 1 contender to his Universal Championship, which ended up with Rollins hitting the pedigree on Jericho to close out the show. I guess, Rick, we could say Rollins made the list?
Oh, without question, he made the list. I'm waiting for that to happen next week on Raw, but as far as Jericho and Owens goes, obviously we've been seeing slow heat. They've been saying, we are the champions. They're leaving the high and dry, so you can see it definitely boiling. It probably will start to culminate where they will break off, and my guess Jericho will be the babyface because they want to keep Owens the heel. So that kind of feud or something will culminate at Hell in a Cell.
Overall score on Raw this week gets a 3 out of 5. A decent show for once this week. Best match of the night, hands down, goes to Jericho and Rollins, with worst match of the night going to the Braun Strowman squash match with the pair of moronic-looking Splash Brothers. Rick, over to you. What's your overall score and your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week?
Well, I'll agree with you. It's definitely 4 out of 5. It was a great Raw. Raw's been kind of getting watered down. We've been seeing a lot of squash matches. Braun Strowman squash match, that is a storyline. I'm hoping that will, make some kind of improvement over the next couple of weeks, possibly Hell in a Cell. Best match of the night. I got to give it to the Cruiserweights. They were definitely the highlight of the night. Obviously, I got to give promos to Jericho and Rollins, but I got to go with the Cruiserweights. They really caught my eye.
Yep, definitely. So what we want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week? Definitely want to hear what you guys out there have to say. Be sure to put your comments in the comment section below. Be sure you slam that like button like a champ. Rick, where can fans check you out on HWR?
Well, right now, Hardcore Wrestling Radio, our podcast, we've been kind of just slowing down a little bit. Way too many pay-per-views and Raws and SmackDowns to really cover, so we're going to just start covering the big 4. However, when the classic wrestling manager, Joseph Knight, and I get together, we like to talk about wrestling news that's going on. So we just hit the button and we just start rambling around the way, which we call In the Moment. We've talked in the past about news about the possible sale of TNA. Of course, when CM Punk got splatted over at UFC, and you can look for those type of conversations to come up in the near future. But if you just want to join the conversation right now, I've been focusing my attention over into the group section, Facebook, HWR chat room. We're looking for those passionate wrestlers who want to come out and say what they want, how they want to say, and what they want to get over, or what's bothering them about wrestling today. We're not those people that say, oh, we don't want you to freak out or hate people. You want to hate the wrestler? Feel free. Just don't get personal.
Don't forget, I go live every Thursday night with Sports Entertainment Tonight with Nick Nede Fukwe and Mark the Smart Draw. We're definitely going to be talking about WWE No Mercy this Thursday night, so if you want to find out what our opinions are for No Mercy, be sure you tune in Thursday night, and it's also your chance to call in and voice your opinions on No Mercy and whatever else that's on your mind when it comes to WWE and professional wrestling. Also, don't forget, I'll have a couple of videos in the annotations for you guys to check out, and if you want to see more from your friendly neighborhood Wrestle Gamer, be sure you hit that subscribe button down below. So with that being said, for the hardcore host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Rick Head, I'm your friendly neighborhood Wrestle Gamer, and I will see you at the next Warp Zone. Bye, guys!
Nobody there, and oh my God! Goldar with a Samoan drop!
Saw that earlier.
And Wild Thing kicks out!
Well, they still couldn't fix the opening promo to take out Becky Lynch.
Okay,
Because it was last minute, bro. That's why they couldn't do it.